Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Huck. Today we are talking about series. I have seen a couple of people doing these like series roundups where they talk about all of their series in a year, things that they have finished, series they've DNF'd, series that they have started, the ones they plan to finish, what they don't, all of that. So I wanted to do that because it's been a little while since we've talked about series. So let's do it. Let's talk about series and what I finished or DNF'd in 2023 and what are the ones that I am planning to continue with or wondering if I'm going to continue with, because some of them are a little tenuous. Okay, so there are quite a few series here to talk about, so I'm going to try and like go through them relatively quickly and not get too in the weeds about it. Let's start with the series that I finished in 2023, and in this I am going to be counting series that were rereads. So I had 11 series that I finished. The rereads that I finished were the Monk and Robot series by Becky Chambers. Also, I have my laptop down here, which is why I'm looking down. But I had my reread of all of the Tortall series by Tamara Pierce, which includes the Song of the Lioness Quartet, the Immortals Quartet, the Protector of the Small Quartet, the Trickster duology, the Becca Cooper trilogy. I had two graphic novel series that I finished. One was the Sleepless series and one was the Garlic series, both of which I really enjoyed. And then the other, series or novel series that I finished were the Bold duology by Elżbieta Czerzinska and the Regency Fairy Tales series by Olivia Atwater and the Dalriada trilogy by Jules Watson. So those are all of the series that I completed, and then I had a couple of series DNFs. I actually maybe had more DNFs than this if we are counting any series that I like read the first book and then decided not to continue on with it, but these are the three that I have written down here. So one of them is the Chaos and Flame duology by Tessa Gratton and Justina Ireland. I read the first book, Chaos and Flame, and was not a big fan of it, so I DNF'd that series. However, I am interested to know what happens, so if anyone reads the second book and wants to like tell me what happens, I'd love to know. But not enough that I'm gonna read the book. And then the other two series that I DNF'd, one was the House Wars series by Michelle West. I read DNF'd the second book in the series, which was City of Night. And then I also DNF'd the Celtic Blood series by, I forget the author's name, but I will have a picture of the book with the author's name here. But this is just a series that I had started a while ago and just decided that I don't think I'm ever going to come back to it because I have not so far, and I just don't feel motivation to continue on with that series. Okay, then we have a couple of series that I've kind of categorized into series that I for sure plan to finish, and then series that I am unsure if I'm going to finish, and I'm questioning whether I will finish them or not. So first, let's talk about the ones that I definitely plan to finish. I just need to get myself together on some of these. Some of these are series that I have had sitting around for so long and I just need to do it. But first up, we have the Salvagers trilogy by Alex White. This is a like sci-fi, adventure space opera kind of series, and I have read the first two books. I only have one book left in this trilogy and I just haven't gotten around to it, so I need to finally finish that, and I'm hoping 2024 will be the year because I am feeling excited to read more sci-fi this year, and I am hoping that that will translate into me finally finishing this trilogy, because I do enjoy this trilogy. It's not like a favorite, but it is fun and I would like to finish it. I also have probably the series that has been on this TBR the very longest, is the books of Pelennor series by Alison Croghan. This is I don't know actually if this is middle grade or YA, but it is a fantasy series. I read the first two books years ago, like when I was actually in high school. And then I always meant to continue on with the series and I never did. And so this has been on my TBR, like theoretically on my TBR for years. I even have the third book and I just never have read it. And I would love to finally finish this series because I remember liking it. So maybe this will be another one. You know, I feel optimistic about all of these, that like 2024 is going to be the year that I finish these. We'll see. Next up is The Beast Player by Naoko Ohashi. This is a duology that I read the first book, The Beast Player, years ago, and then I actually reread the first book in 2022, I think, and I just need to read the second book, which is The Beast Warrior. I have it. I even started reading it and just did not finish it, so I really would like to get to that one because I really liked the first book. However, I felt like the first book felt very complete. Like, I think the first one was originally written as a standalone and I feel like it can be read as a standalone, and so I don't really feel a lot of motivation to like read the next book because it didn't feel like I needed to. But I'm hoping to finish the duology. Next up is the Boudica trilogy, or not trilogy, it has 4 books, so Quartet by Amanda Scott. I have read the first 2 books in this series, which are Dreaming the Eagle and Dreaming the Bull. Dreaming the Hound, the third book, is on my top 10 TBR for the year, so I definitely want to get to that one. Ideally, I would love to finish this series this year, but I want to at least make progress on it. And then I have a couple of series that are series I plan to finish, but these are ongoing series, so these are ones that not all of the books are out. So for some of them, I'm not sure how many books there are going to be, or some of them, like the final book is coming out soon. So first up is the Lost Queen series by Signe Pike. I have read the first 2 books of this. It was originally planned to be a trilogy, and then also have like a prequel, I think. But that sounds like it's changed. I think that it's going to be a 4-book series, and I don't know if the prequel is happening anymore. It's unclear to me, but the third book supposedly is supposed to be coming out in the fall in 2024, which I'm extremely excited about. I love this series, so I really hope that that happens and that I actually get to like make some progress on this series. But I don't really know how many books are planned for it. Next is the Wayward Children series by Shannon McGuire, which I believe is meant to be 10 books. It was expanded from, I think it was originally supposed to be like 6 or something, but now it is 10. The 9th book is coming out this year, so this is a series that is going to continue at least into next year. And then there is the Numair Chronicles by Tamara Pierce, which is just forever a question mark. The first book was Tempest and Slaughter, which I read when it came out and I really enjoyed it. It is giving backstory to the character Numair, who I really love. But then I think that that Tamara Pierce had some personal things going on that prevented her from you know, continuing to write the series. I think that someone in her family got sick, and then she may have been sick for a while, and so it's been kind of up in the air, and I keep seeing like release dates, and then those release dates keep getting pushed back. So once again, like theoretically the next book is supposed to come out in 2024, but the date has been changed so many times that I'm really not sure if that's going to happen. So I'm not sure if that series is actually even going to be finished ever, but if it is, I'm gonna read it. Then we have Between Earth and Sky by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is the series that starts with Black Sun, which I loved. Black Sun, felt a little more meh about Fevered Star, but I'm so excited for the finale of this trilogy to come out this year, and so I'm planning to finish that this year when it comes out. And then I also have Gale Song by Shauna Lawless. I read the first book, Children of Gods and Fighting Men, in 2023, and I liked it. I'm very intrigued by this series, and I am at this point planning to finish the series. The second book is out and the third one is coming out this year, so I should be able to, if I continue to like it I would like to finish it this year. Next up, we have the First Sister trilogy by Lyndon A. Lewis, which I started in December, and I love this series so far. I've kind of become obsessed with the first 2 books, and I am planning to read the 3rd book this year to finish out the trilogy. I'm so excited. It's a sci-fi series that I love, so that is in itself very exciting to me. Okay, and now we have series that I am unsure if I'm going to finish them or not. So these are the ones that are kind of up in the air. We're gonna have to play it by ear and see where it goes. Okay, so starting out with the ones that all of the books in the series are out. So if I wanted to finish them, theoretically I could. So first up is Legends of the First Empire by Michael J. Sullivan. I read the first book, Age of Myth, a couple of years ago at this point, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't one that I felt super compelled to continue on with the series. So I want to read the next book in the series to kind of figure out if I want to keep going, and yet I never feel fully motivated to do that. So that's why it's on this list of like unsure if I plan to finish, but I would like to give it another shot and read at least one more book in the series. Similarly is the Vorkosigan Saga by Lois McMaster Bujold. I love Lois McMaster Bujold's fantasy, and this is her sci-fi series, which is actually her more well-known series. But I have read, I think, 4 books in the Vorkosigan Saga now, and each one I like, but I don't love. But I like it enough that I'm kind of curious to read the next. And so I'm forever in this limbo of trying to decide, like, do I like this series and am I going to continue? So, you know, I might just read the entire 14-book series forever being like, do I like this? We'll see. And then the final one in this category is The Drowning Empire by Andrea Stewart. This is the series that starts with The Bone Shard Daughter. I read The Bone Shard Daughter, I think the year it came out. I enjoyed it. There were certainly parts of it that I really liked and parts that I was not that invested in. And I have the second book. I've been meaning to read it for ages, and yet the longer I go, the less and less I think that I'm actually going to read it, and I'm wondering, I feel like this one may become a DNF. I'm not really sure though. And then our last category is the books that I am unsure if I'm finishing the series, but they are an ongoing series, or I'm not sure if they're finished. So first up is The Alchemical Journeys by Seanan McGuire. This is the series that started with Middle Game. So the 3rd book, Tidal Creatures, is coming out in 2024. And I have no idea if it is a trilogy, so this is the last book, or if it's going to keep going after this. I don't know. So if Tidal Creatures is the last book, then I actually do plan to finish the series because I plan to read Tidal Creatures. If the series continues after Tidal Creatures, then I am not sure, and because I loved Middle Game, but I didn't really like Seasonal Fears, and so Tidal Creatures is kind of gonna like make the decision for me, hopefully. Similarly is the Nightshine series by Tessa Gratton. I think that this series actually might be completed. It's a duology, but for some reason I thought that there might be a 3rd book. So I read the first one, Nightshine, and I enjoyed it. The sequel, Moon Dark Smile, I actually started reading, but I haven't finished it yet. I kind of put it down a while ago and never came back to it. So I am at the moment thinking I am going to complete this, but I also just keep feeling uninspired to read the Nightshine or Moon Dark Smile. So I'm not really sure about that one. Next up is The Burning Kingdoms by Tasha Suri. This is the series that starts with the Jasmine Throne. I really want to read the second book, and I'm excited about reading the second book, but if I feel similarly to the second book as I did to the first book, which was like another one where I liked it but I didn't love it, then I may not continue the series. But the last book is coming out this year, I believe. So if I like it, then I can continue the series. So, you know, the second one will be the decider. as with many of these. And then there is the Genesis of Misery series by Neon Yang. I read the first book, The Genesis of Misery. There are elements of it that I really enjoyed, some things that didn't quite grab me, but I'm kind of intrigued to see where it goes, and I do like this author. So I'm curious about the rest of the series. However, I haven't really heard anything else about the next installment in this series, so I'm not quite sure where that series stands. And then the last series on this list is the Witch Hat Atelier, which is a manga series, which I have been enjoying, but I just haven't felt super like invested in. So I keep like forgetting that I'm reading this series, which is kind of why it's in this like up in the air category. So that is my series roundup, kind of where I ended 2023 on, where I'm starting 2024 for my series. I actually have fewer like ongoing series than I thought I did. I thought it was gonna be like 50, and it's actually not that many, which I'm kind of happy about, especially because though in 2023 I did make an effort to binge series and complete things, and I really want to continue doing that in 2024 and maybe actually complete some of these series that have been on my TBR on my like series TBR for a while, so that maybe I can like get this number even lower to have fewer ongoing series that I am reading. But thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye.